Yo, Malachi, back with another video. Today's topic is going to be the general theme of finding peace. To be honest, peace comes in like many different ways. It's coming from separating yourself from negativity, separating yourself from other people, or just finding out how to be you within everything. To me, peace is not being disturbed, not letting outside sources disturb me, not letting things I can't control disturb me, not being tempted to do the things that I used to do, not being like controlled by basically the outside sources like I just said. I mean, it's hard for me either because I don't know half of the shit that I be trying to figure out. You feel me? And sometimes it's difficult to sit there and try to figure things out. Lately, my sense of peace been coming from God. I've went to God with a lot of my troubles and even my insecurities, my insecurities, my worries, my doubts. You feel me? My fears, I just cast them onto God because at the end of the day, prayer is what solidifies that peace. Knowing that God is taking care of all of that solidifies that peace for me. For everybody, it may not be the same thing. For some other people, it may be meditation, even though meditation is another process of prayer. Or it may be coming out and, being with your homegirls or your homeboys. Or, you feel me, going out by yourself, take yourself shopping, or just treat yourself nice. There's a lot of different things that goes into the conversation of peace. What disturbs a lot of our peace is not knowing what it is we truly seek when it comes to peace. People say, "Oh, I just need peace. I just need peace." But when they get that peacefulness of when they get to that point of being at peace, they realize how lonely it is. They realize how being peaceful really requires you to separate yourself from a lot of things, not just a couple things, but it really causes you to separate yourself from a lot. And to be honest, that's not the easiest thing to do. Separate yourself from a whole lot of people or a whole lot of things necessarily. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you're trying to knock it down instantly. For me, when I was making the changes that I was making, I was trying to change everything at once, sort of say. So it was like, basically I have like a bucket list of stuff that I want to get done. And instead of focusing on the main prioritized one, basically like the one on the top of the list, I'll try to prioritize every one of them just as much. And that caused me to burn out a lot faster than I usually do because realistically, I can change a lot of things about myself, but it takes time. So with me trying to change, say for instance, my smoking habits, the people that I hang around, or my work ethic, or basically how I just think in general, trying to heal from my past, trying to help other people heal from their past, trying to spread all positivity, motivation. You feel me? You change everything about yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm still changing, but it caused me to burn out a lot faster than I usually do. And when I burned out, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna stop doing everything. It's just like, you feel me? Everything that I was doing for everybody else, it's just I cut that off in order to just focus on me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But what I usually do is I hit myself with one of those, I need a break from everything, and then next thing you know, I end up taking a break from everything, like literally everything. And then it'll take me like a long ass time to get locked back in. I haven't posted a YouTube video in about 2 weeks, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been doing gym content lately on Instagram at Mally for real if you don't know about it. Um, that shit right there, like I ain't gonna lie, I felt like I was burning out again because, like I said, like I'm at peace with myself, but I'm not at peace with the world. So it's hard to, just be true to myself when I always want to help people. Like I want to help people obtain peace. I want to help other people obtain like you know, the best version of themselves. Like, it don't matter what they're going through. Like, you can still obtain the best version of yourself. So I try to help people get to that part where it's like, realistically, I'm still trying to get into that too. So technically, I guess I'm not at peace, but I'm finding out what peace is. Like, to me, peace to me might not be the same thing to you or to somebody else. So I guess that's another way of saying that, you know, you'll have to literally figure out what peace is to you. To be honest, I feel like peace can only be obtained through God. Like, you'll never be at peace with the world. It's so much going on. It's so much negativity, so much drama, so much outside sources just pulling every which way. Man, bro, this world is just so cruel. And being able to like separate yourself from it, I think that'll like entitle you to the best experiences when it come to your day-to-day life. Like, social media is just the number one, like, draining. That shit draining, bro. Like, it's for me, using social media is only good when you're using it to focus on the things that you want to push in the world. But when you're focused on shit that other people doing, or like when you focus on what other people got going on, it only destroys how you think about yourself. Like, for me, for instance, when I was starting to make content, or I wanted to start making content, I used to look at how other people do it. Realistically, I'm not them. Like, I'm not gonna do content the same way they do it. Dude might got 1.5 million followers on Instagram and got like 10 mil on TikTok. But like, he built himself up to get in that position. He didn't just copy what the next dude did. Well, he probably did, but at the same time, it still takes consistency. It takes the proper work. You got to keep building and building and building and building. It's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, oh, he's doing what he do, so let me just copy behind him. Realistically, that shit only lasts for so long, because that person is going to continue to change. That person is not going to keep making content the same way they make content. They're going to figure out a new way to make content. They're going to figure out a new way to keep people entertained, and then they're going to make that change that they need to make. For me, I feel like I was looking at everybody on social media for, you know, doing the things that I want to do, instead of just looking at myself and just asking myself, why am I not doing the things that I want to do? Like, I'll see somebody modeling on Instagram, or I'll see somebody, you know, making gym content, or I'll see somebody doing poetry, or I'll see somebody, you know, feel me, just being free of everything, you know, out here meditating in the sun, out here and just enjoying life, period. And you feel me? Instead of just being like, oh, okay, that's cool, like, they having fun, like, that's smooth. I think to myself, where it was like, damn, like, they doing everything I truly want to do. I'm not envious of that person. It's just like, when I see somebody doing what I want to do, you know, it kind of makes me look at myself in a way to where it's like, why am I not doing that? That's another reason why I wasn't at peace with myself too. Because I didn't know like how to just start putting myself out there in a way. It was kind of the hardest challenge about moving forward, was putting myself out there. I didn't know how people was gonna perceive me. I didn't know what people was gonna say about me. I didn't know how people was gonna feel, honestly. But to be honest, at the end of the day, like, it's only me at the end of the day. Like, when I close my eyes before I go to sleep, it's only me. So why should I care about all these outside sources? I mean, insecurities, that's probably why I care about them. I feel the need to be over validated. Boom. So that's another reason why I wasn't putting myself out there. Another reason, what should I do? Because I do poetry. I go to the gym. I write. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? So, and I do motivational stuff, like motivational quotes, motivational texts on my story, or I'll just post a motivational video from time to time. You feel me? So I got my feet kind of like in a whole bunch of like different types of water. It's really just being able to control where I put all that energy at, because a lot of stuff take a lot of energy out of me. Like, poetry, that's my hobby. I'll forever write. I don't care. Like, poetry is my hobby. Gym content, that shit right there, just, you feel me? I get to do that. I get to go to the gym, put in some great work. And if I get to give it to people who are bound to listen, take the workouts, or even just, you know, support me, like, that's the best thing in the world. I genuinely I genuinely think that in order to find peace, I genuinely had to go to God, as humble as ever. I had to submit myself to God in order to stop struggling with the day-to-day shit that I was struggling with. Like from mental, like just my mental health, my negative self-criticism. What do they call it? Negative self-talk. I'm hella, I'm hella critical on myself. It's just for no reason. It's like that's just who I am. I force myself to be alone sometimes. You feel me? Because I find peace with that, with forcing myself to be alone. But then I realize how lonely I become because I genuinely want somebody to be there for me. Realistically, I just need to be there for myself. Yeah. This might turn into a different topic later on into the video, to be honest, because there's so much stuff I could speak on when it comes to this certain type of topic. I'm just, realistically right now, I wouldn't say I'm at peace, to be honest. I'm still figuring it out. You feel me? Right now, I'm working, getting ready to go to college in the fall, still doing poetry, still being consistent with the gym content. I struggle mentally with shit that I don't speak on. Realistically, I know I should, but I just give all my problems to God and and I pray about it. I read the word, I stay consistent because realistically, nobody's gonna save me but God. Nobody's gonna help me through all of my troubles but God. God and me are the only two people who can get me through it all. So I don't know why I'd be feeling subjected to always go cry on somebody else's shoulder or like, you feel me, bring somebody into my bullshit. Well, realistically, it's not even bullshit. I just be feeling like I don't want to overwhelm somebody with everything that I'm going through because I don't know what they're going through. And that's why I keep a lot of stuff to myself, even though I do need somebody to talk to. Getting a therapist brought me peace too, because I'm able to speak on some of the things that I won't speak on. Like the closest people to me, like some of the shit I don't even speak on, I'll tell my therapist. And it's easier that way, to be honest, because my therapist not gonna judge me. My therapist not gonna say nothing to me. My therapist not gonna make me feel no type of way. And that's their job, but I genuinely feel like I connect with my therapist over a certain topic. I'm not gonna get too in deep into it, but it was about suicide and me and her connected with it because like me, myself, I was suicidal for a while. From the ages of 8 to last year, November, I was suicidal. I never attempted or I never really harmed myself in ways, but I was always suicidal. It was always the thoughts, just the thought of suicide, you feel me, replaying in my head. At 8 years old, I attempted, but I never went through with it. Nobody knew about that, but that's a story for a different conversation. I recommend getting a therapist though if you struggle with opening up to people. A therapist is definitely highly recommended. I can't fake it when I say peace is not easy to obtain. Peace is not easy to obtain. It requires like conscious work daily to really sit there and make sure that you're at peace, because only way you can like remember to like separate yourself from all the negativity that you're used to or all the stuff that's just holding you back in life. Sometimes it's even you holding you back. Only way to separate yourself from that is to just know that that's what's holding you back and that's what's keeping you from obtaining everything you want. For me, a peace of mind is like everything to me. Like if I can sit here and not have to worry about the next thing or the last thing, you feel me? I could just sit here and breathe and be in the moment. I'm talking about every moment, not just right here in this video. I'm talking about every moment. Like that's where a real peace of mind is like really acquired. The only time I can say I genuinely had a peace of mind is when I used to be the nonchalant individual, like when I didn't care about the outside world. I didn't care about nothing else going on around me. I was only so caught up with myself. So I could say that's another thing, most definitely. Being so caught up with everything around me that, you lose your sense of self. What I like to say is I get lost in the noise. Like you got to find yourself within all the noise. Shit, man. There's so much going on right now. Like even around me, like it's different energies around me right now. There's different thought patterns going through my head. It's different shit that I gotta do consistently because I'm forever changing. I can't remain the same person forever. I know what my problem is with that though, is that I never get to enjoy being the version of myself that I am now because I'm constantly thinking about the next version of me that's gonna be better. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it's a bad thing to me is because I never could sit here and enjoy the moment. Like, not right now, I'm talking about overall. I'll get caught up with trying to just be better consistently when realistically sometimes I need to feel those lows in order to remind myself that I'm human. Those lows are like remind me that I'm human, but when I feel them, I go insane because like, why am I down here again? Like I done did so much to climb up out of this. Why did I fall back into it? The energies around me, not holding myself up to a higher standard, you know, not doing everything that I truly want to do, not putting my heart in the right place, not putting my spirit in the right place. All of that right there keeps me from obtaining peace. And one thing about me, well, one thing I might say to myself is, well, if you know all of these things, why not just correct them? Because it takes time realistically. Like changing overnight is one thing that I thought would happen. But when I realized changing overnight don't happen like as fast as I thought it would, shit, man, I started struggling even more. Shit, life after high school, that shit brought me into a position to where it was like, shit, I don't even know who I am for real. I graduated goddamn last year, May 26th. I moved out of my dad's crib with him and his girl in July. I started living with my homeboy for like August to September. I was still smoking weed, so his mom ended up putting me out. Moved down to Atlanta with my mom. She put me out. I moved down to my auntie crib in Atlanta. I got into it with my grandma like twice, 3 times, which was my fault. I take accountability, you know. I just had to be the one to open my mouth. Got into it with my auntie down there. She threatened to put me out. I reached out to my auntie up here in Athens. I let her know, hey, what the situation was. She told me I can come stay with her. Boom, a situation happened over there. You know, she basically put me out. And, you know, now I'm living with my dad's ex-girlfriend. And right now I can say, like, throughout all of that shit, like, now I've found the most peace because I'm able to just be free. I'm able to just be like me. Like, nobody's saying shit to me. Nobody's just telling me what to do every day. Nobody's trying to get me to do everything they want me to do. Like, I'm able to just, you know, breathe. Finally get, like, a peace of mind. Finally just sit back and relax the days that I truly want to. Another thing about me is that I'm overly productive. So if it's not like, if I'm not doing nothing, if I'm not doing nothing for a whole day, I gotta figure something out to do. I can't just sit around and do nothing. There's more to be done in this world than to sit around and do nothing. So that's why I feel the way I do when it comes to like productivity. Like I know sometimes I need to breathe. Like sometimes I'll take a nap or I'll, you feel me, or I'll just chill. But realistically, man, that shit only lasts so long. Cause once I feel like I'm not really doing enough, that's when I start pushing myself. And to be honest, I don't like feeling like I'm forcing myself to do anything. That's what bothers me a lot. Is feeling like I'm forcing myself to, you feel me, like really do anything. Forcing myself to, I have to force myself to get up in the morning. That's not a logical one. Like basically force myself to read a book, or I'll force myself to write a poem, or force myself to do this, that, and the third. Force myself to, you know, get out more. Like I know that I gotta force myself out of the comfort zone. It's just like with me being so comfortable, I don't know how to accept it yet. Because there is more to be done, don't get me wrong. But it's like, what more can I do? Like, I'm already doing enough. So now I'm at a state of mind to where it's like I'm thinking about all the shit that I can do, but instead of just focusing on what I am doing, I'm thinking about all the shit I can do. And now that separates me from the moment and the future, because now I'm no longer thinking about the moment. I'm thinking about the future, like what I can be doing. I know I can be goddamn doing a whole lot more, but that's just not my life right now. That's not who I am right now. I can't give back consistently like I want to. And I'm talking about like putting people in positions to where they don't have to struggle. I can't pour into people like I want to, because at the end of the day, like, my cup is always going to be empty unless I fill it up. It's more to that. Like, trying to sit here and be this high and mighty person when realistically, like, I have lows. Like, everybody has flaws, everybody have lows, but trying to remain that light that everybody sees, so so my motivation can rub off on somebody else, it's just like, that's the hardest thing with this journey too. And that destroys my peace of mind, because when I get to those lows, like I said earlier, like, why am I down here? Like, I done climbed so far up. How did I come back down? It's because realistically, we're all human. We're never gonna stay up here. Something is gonna happen to bring us back down. I didn't like the other day I had a breakdown and I was crying and I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. And I had to pray. Like, I had to pray to God. And the moment I got done praying, like, everything, like, that feeling that was in my chest, it disappeared. I didn't feel nothing no more. And I felt like I felt relief, joy, and excitement knowing that the power of prayer can just exterminate everything that's not supposed to be. Like, everything that I was feeling right there was not supposed to be in me. And when I prayed about it, God removed it. But I had to remove things out of my life in order to stay ahead. Like vaping, I had to remove that. I can't keep doing it. Procrastinating, had to remove it. I can't keep doing it. Overloading my plate with stuff to do, put that to the side. Gotta stop doing it. Because if I don't have no time to breathe throughout the day, where does my peace of mind come from? It doesn't come. And realistically, now I'm just sitting here trying to push myself when I don't want to move. So now I'm set up to burn out. I'm set up to be stagnant, or I'm set up to just overload myself with stress to the point to where it's just like, fuck everything. I'm just gonna disappear for a while, go ghost on the whole world, put my mask back on, and then figure it out another time. That's not healthy. That's not the healthiest way of obtaining, like, everything that I'm going through. I mean, not obtaining everything I'm going through, but getting through everything I'm going through. Obtaining that peace of mind that I'm searching for. And realistically, should I be searching for it or should I let it come find me? That's a conversation that's like not under, like, that's a conversation that's not well, like, comprehended, because most things you do have to find, but most things come to you. But a peace of mind don't just come to you. You have to do the required work in order to obtain it. Like talking to God, talking with yourself, separating yourself from anything that makes you feel lower than yourself. All of that shit right there is like how to acquire one. But nobody's talking about what's in between it, like what's stopping you from doing all of that. What's stopping you from going to God might be somebody who don't believe in God, may be your own beliefs on God, or it may just be religion in general. You see what I'm saying? What's stopping you from separating yourself from negativity? It may be social media. It may be everything that you have going for yourself. Like, for instance, when I say that, I mean like going to school, or like the people supporting you, or just stuff like that. Like, some of that stuff could, like, people could be supporting you, but some people only support you because they, my fault, hold on. I'm not trying to have this come out the wrong way. Some people only support you because they're jealous of what you're doing. Like me, for instance, like, I don't ask nobody to support me. Even though I may want a lot more support than I actually get right now, I don't ask nobody to do it. But I don't know if people support me because they genuinely see the growth that I'm making, or they genuinely, like, believe in everything that I have going for myself, or it's because they see me take all of that shit I went through and I'm still able to stand above it and remain to be positive. I don't know, like, and it's not for me to know, like, realistically. I don't know who's genuinely supporting me or who's genuinely just sitting around waiting for me to blow up so they can say that they was there for it. Because realistically, man, like, that's some shit that just sit on my mind. Like, for instance, like, I want to be able to lift people up, but for some reason I end up falling in the process. And that just disturbs me a lot. But I know I'm gonna continue to fall, like, it's life. So why not just accept that I may fall when I help somebody else? Realistically, I just haven't accepted that yet. Because everything I do for myself right now is I'm finally at a point to where I can just focus on myself. But at the same time, I still have to be able to find that balance to balance out other people too, like, that's in my life, because I don't want to just cut people off. That's not healthy. Well, it is healthy if you know what you really want to do, but for me, keeping people close to me is actually one of the best things I do for myself. Because when I'm feeling overloaded or I'm feeling stressed or when I need to get out the house or when I'm just going through shit, I got somebody I can call on. Because I don't talk to my therapist all the time. I don't have her on speed dial. But, like, I got somebody I can call on. And to be honest, I love being that person somebody else can call on. And it's not just for me to sit there and, pick at their mind or try to talk to them. It's because, like, people genuinely need somebody to talk to. And if somebody reaches out to me and tells me, hey, I genuinely need to talk to you and I just need to clear my heart or clear my mind, that makes me know that I'm a safe space. That makes me know that there's people out here in the world like me that are actually making a difference for somebody else. A peace of mind is not easily obtained, but it's something that's required. How do you obtain it? That's up for, like, really for you to figure out. I can't give you the step-by-step process on how to figure out what peace is to you. Because what peace is to me might not be peace to you. Right now, this is peace to me. Just sitting out here, being able to record myself, sitting out here in nature, sitting out here breathing, getting out here being out here living my truth. That's what peace is to me. What peace is to you may be laying in your bed just reading. It may be going out to the gym, or it may be just, you feel me, being around your friends. That may bring you a peace of mind. Like, peace is not just one thing. Peace is a life that you live. I can live in harmony. I can live in peace. I can live in positivity, or I can live in negativity. I can live in draining situations. I can live with negative spirits, or, you feel me, just neglectful spirits in general. I can live with all of that. Like, peace is a lifestyle. You get to choose that. You get to choose to be at peace. Because when you open up your phone in the morning, social media, for instance, it could be the war about Gaza. It could be Rod Wave getting cheated on. It can be goddamn Will Smith getting smacked by Will Smith smacking goddamn Chris Rock. It could be goddamn Lil Tony getting shot. That's all negativity right there. And how do you separate yourself from that? I don't know. I don't know how you separate yourself from that. I'm not going to tell you to delete Instagram or delete social media, because realistically, I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to tell you to unfollow people that are no longer doing the things that you align with, because realistically, I still follow some people that don't align with what I'm working towards. It's just life, bro. This shit will never be figured out by one person. Not one person can figure out everything that happens, bro. The only way you'll be able to start figuring shit out in life is by accepting that God is showing you your way through it. I wrote a poem just now. I finished it earlier today, actually. And in one of the lines, I just didn't know that God would accept all of my flaws. I didn't know that God would take this person who's been hurt, this person who's been put through the worst, this person who done put people through the worst, this person who done literally, you feel me, neglected some of the closest people to him. Like, I'm heartbroken and I've broken hearts. So I didn't know God would accept all of that. I didn't know God would accept this person who smokes all the time, or this person who was lost, this person who was trapped in the darkness, this person who's been literally just spazzing out on people for no reason. I didn't know God would accept that person. But when I came to him, the first time I came to him, I started changing. I started changing. And then I deferred away from him because I got so caught up with myself. I thought everything that I was doing was for me. And then God put me back in that hole to where I was struggling mentally. It wasn't even physically no more. Because when I was going through my situation, when I was jumping crib to crib, I was struggling physically. Like I was barely eating. I was putting a lot on my plate so I could just keep going. You feel me? Spending time with people that, you feel me, that I probably shouldn't have been spending time with around the time. You feel me? Realistically, that was just my life at the time. So when I first went to God, I was lost, and he helped me find my way. But when I deferred away from him and I started trying to do things on my own, I started struggling again. I fell back into lust. Even though I haven't overcame lust, don't get me wrong, I still haven't overcame it, but I fell back into it a lot worse. I fell back into negativity. I was surrounding myself with people who were just not uplifting, to be honest. I put myself back in that box, and I was trying to find my way out of it. And then one day I went to church, and the Bible verse was 2 Corinthians 7, 8, and 9. I don't know it word for word, but if you want to go in there, if you want to go and quote it yourself and go read it, that Bible verse right there, it helped me really. Because with everything I've been through in the last year, God has been with me every step of the way. Being neglectful to the highest source of power is what's been keeping me down, because I'm not the highest source of power. God is. So trying to subject myself to that higher source, it destroyed everything I was working towards, like mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It was just destroying all of that because I was subjecting myself to everything that God is. Just because the essence of God remains dormant within my soul, I thought that I hold the same power that he do, when I don't. I can't change the heart of everybody around me, but I could change the heart of the closest people near me. And actually, that's crazy, because realistically, all of us are encouraged to go to God by somebody. You never know who that person may be. For me, that person was Tiffany B. Moment. I'm gonna give her a shout out because the first interview we did, every word that she spoke came directly from God, and it touched my heart to know that not only was that interview a well-coordinated interview, God placed that interview in my heart for me to genuinely remember it, because not only that's where I started my journey with God, but also it's people like Tiffany that remains on this earth. It's people like Tiffany that are in this world. You just got to know where to find them. You got to know how to talk to them, and you got to know how to listen to what comes out of their mind, because half of the stuff that they speak comes directly from God. Shit, everything that Tiffany spoke in that interview came directly from God. God chose to speak through her in that moment. And everything, when I go rewatch that interview, it reminds me of everything that I've been working towards. I can't separate God from it no more. It's all for God. Everything that I do goes to God, because in order for me to receive, I have to give it all to him. I can't receive none of the glory. I can't say thank you to everybody when it's really I'm thanking God at the end of the day. Every night when I go to sleep, I say thank you, God. When I wake up, I say thank you, God. Because realistically, that's who's controlling, like that's who has the control of my life. God guides me everywhere I go. He may put me through a bad situation just so I can experience it, understand it, learn from it, and then I grow. It's like God plants seeds within your soul. God plants seeds within your souls that may not start to grow immediately. Like realistically, they never grow immediately. Because once he give you that seed, he want to see what you do with it. Do you water it first? Or do you feel me? Do you just look at it? And do you memorize it? Like, do you actually like sit there and like pray over that seed that was just planted? Or do you just start watering it immediately and just thinking it's going to just work out how you want it to? No, it don't work like that. God planted seeds inside of me that I had to sit and pray on, that I had to sit and think about, that I had to sit and just let myself live through before I could try to figure it out. But I never learned that. Realistically, I never learned that. That was the part of the lesson that I was missing. Every seed that was planted wasn't just for me. Every seed that was planted inside of my soul, it wasn't for me. The fruit that I bear, I give. Because if I eat my own fruit, shit, nobody else gonna get full. Nobody else gonna get this word, or nobody else gonna get this positivity. Nobody else gonna get this change of heart. I can't be selfish. So every seed that was planted within me, first, I never gave it time to grow because I expected it to happen overnight. Second, I never said thank you to God for giving me all of these seeds that were planted within my soul. I just started doing. I started acting on it. Instead of reminding myself that, hey, this comes from God. Let me thank him. Let me give him the gratitude. Let me give him the praise. Let me give him the glory for everything that I get to experience. Because through the bad and the good times, God has remained within me. Not by my side, but God has remained in me. He's watched all of that. And he just wanted to see how I was going to move. Was I going to keep going off of my own understanding, or was I going to come to him so he could provide me that peace of mind that I was looking for? So he could provide me that clarity that I was looking for. So he could provide me that fullness. And when I say fullness, I mean my soul. Provide me that fullness that I was looking for. Because everything that I was searching out for in the world, I couldn't find. I couldn't find it in the person next to me. I couldn't find it in the person across the fucking world that I was having conversations with. I couldn't find it in my therapist that I talked to. I couldn't find it in the people that I socialized with at work. I couldn't find it outside in the world. I had to find it within my soul, and I had to find it by going to God. Realistically, that was the only way I was able to mature from it. At the end of the day, there's only two things that really matter: your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself. In order to find a peace of mind, you have to be able to discern through the negative aspects of your being, the negative aspects of the people around you, and the negative aspects of what you keep yourself in tune with. A peace of mind is not easily obtained, but when you get it, the hardest thing to do is to keep it, because it's a lot of distractions out here. There's a lot of negativity out here. There's a lot of soulless people that are bound to keep you trapped. So when you figure out how to obtain peace, and when you obtain peace, now the hard part starts, because the outside world will start attacking. The negative spirits will start attacking. The evil spirits will start attacking. Separate yourself from it all. Keep yourself on the right track. Remain humble to God. Give him all the praise and thank him at the end of the day. Because without him being a part of your process, I think most of us wouldn't be here today. God has been there for all of us through it all. We have to go back. We have to go back to God in order to obtain everything that we wish for. Matthew 6:33.